Hello everybody, this is Loki and welcome back to Apollo Justice. I'm gonna go ahead and continue from where we last left off. Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act. And right in the middle of her performance. The reason why she was in the air vent. And that switch and the flame in the guitar. When you think it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew it. I knew you had what it took. Oh, hey, it's Phoenix. Ah, Dad. I'm at the right. You believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought it'd make a cooler entrance than to say hey. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Sorry about that, Tracy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche? Only shorter and not as well dressed? Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, and one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You get Machi out off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darren Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. Current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during that trial? The case is based on one fragile assumption, namely that our diva divine is telling the truth. But what about all that proof? The brooch, the switch, and the piece of jewelry on the lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things, the flame in the guitar too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, or melts on a hot street on a summer day, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, and that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Skyama. Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is. What are those, Dad? They don't look like very good snacking material. I found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like one kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo. That's where we found that little device thingy. Right? This. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darren Crescent's igniter and set it off. Off he goes. And he walked out the door just like a magician. Normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods. What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Tracy. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how we do here in the thing here. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin versus Detective Crescent in the witness lounge, ready to be called in at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darren was the first detective I ever worked with. But just because he's his friend, he doesn't know the other side of him, to be honest. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But as a guitar playing, it fired my imagination. That's nice, but it had nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct. Oh, I know. Air forehead. Very well. Call the final witness at the stand. Detective Darren Crescent. Name and occupation, please. Darren Crescent, Detective Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who don't know. His hair, though, and I'm a guitarist for the delivers. Maybe you heard of this? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before today? Man, if I had to work in a courtroom like this, and someone with his hairstyle comes in, I'd be too distracted by his hair. Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darren. And don't call me partner. So much for old friend. I see what you're doing, Darren. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial. Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin your response to her testimony. And if in fact you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Bulgaria. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Huh. Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Let's see what he had to say, shall we? The lady was lying, plain and simple. She got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the word because she heard gunshots. As if! Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. I'm not gonna believe him until we find out something. Why can't they just do a lie detector test? Why can't they do that? So you claim her testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong. I did what she's doing. Trying to protect that kid. And she got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind. You got too far, Darren. Look, all I'm saying is you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to Detective? Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you begin the cross-examination. Oh, I will, right? He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with her testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove that the shooting took place. Yep. I have to do something that statement for. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Objection!
Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What thing? The first was the small device. That's the remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have reported that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Sky worked for you? I received a report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I arrested you, Darren, as a witness in today's trial. Just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been 2 firecrackers ready to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? But you should say every little thing you think. Your explanation here seemed a bit too convenient to me. How so? So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when 2 witnesses came walking by? Ha! That's right. Darren was out on stage when it happened, Paulo. How couldn't he know someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you got my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? Ah! How do I explain it? He may not look it, but Darren is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner? Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if the headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Heh. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darren. There are no sides in the court of law. That's true. Which is why I now turn to you, Air Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments were found at the scene of the crime. Certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. So the headset from the hallway in the mist and you to fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. That's a point there. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You raised the possibility that the shots heard in the third set were fake. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That's right. That's right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue with this cross-examination will be pointless. He does have a point there. Really does. Well, Mr. Justice? Can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony, if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. Soundboard.
Objection!
Seemed that was clear proof left behind. Right here in her song. Her song? What exactly is this, device thingy? Soundboard. A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just used this. Don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately. Her voice included. But what does it prove? According to her testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at the moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Huh, ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on the stage? Have you forgotten, Darren? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We're all deeply involved in the performance, but her headset would have picked up on what she heard all the same. But let's get analyzing that recording right now. She stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and now find the gunshots. Alright, I'm gonna probably mute this for a minute so I can hear it. So probably gonna have to like look for it in the second one. Not ever gonna see about this. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake! I believe the case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means her testimony was true. He got shot. He got freaking shot. Order. So, she was telling the truth when about what she heard? Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Vincent, you were on stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why did we only hear one gunshot in the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? She was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must have not been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, they heard the second one. The gun fired again, and Mr. Latou's life was taken. Well, Detective Carson? He's getting nervous. He could tell he's sweating bullets. Once again, I'm reminded of something. Our performance that day. Your performance. Seeing the missing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Air Forehead. I thought it was strange at first, at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latou's 45 caliber hand cannon. As they all learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his plane was effective because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? Ha! You're forgetting something! Yes, Detective Carson? I'm a trained police officer, you know. I had firearms training. Plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belongs to the victim, Mr. Latou's. which suggests that there was a struggle between the killer and the victim. So, the killer might not have been holding a revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent? What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action had to say. Hey you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on that tape that could be anything. And you have alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak piece of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense argument, while persuasive or decisive, I believe we should hear what the witness had to say in response to the case. So far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. It was a diva's first trip to the country, right? How can I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you can begin the cross-examination. Great, now I need to find a motive. Great! Wonderful! To show this. Objection! Now we have the last thing here after this one. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? I've never seen one that color. It's a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is the cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Seriously, this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound like so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make real silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently, it's most effective at treating this disease. Thought incurable. It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it's illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We've looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out in the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media has kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this had led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol among others. Interpol? Right? The victim, Romanian Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent? You insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romanian Latus wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So, trying to smuggle this jumbo into the country? What are you trying to say? I'm saying that could very well be for murder. Oh, so I was gonna sell it on the black market? Any? Ridiculous. Unthinkable? You say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about the smuggling cocoons business. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latus undercover. You kids think of the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most double of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, the cocoons are top Interpol list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. Okay, where's the newspaper article?
Objection!
Why not choose the less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found I was a cop, I would kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell the black market buyer? Well, how about someone like this? That article, that's about the Chief Justice. A deadly poison can extract from the cocoon. But, so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for enteritis. Enteritis? I've heard that somewhere. You went and visited a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son have. You aren't saying our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You're saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband? Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, well, why'd it be an international scandal? That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyways? Distasteful as it is to think about it, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal? A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof? Well, oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching us. Burgundy and Testman barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we're informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination, shall we? Okay, we have to put the guitar on here.
Objection!
Actually, there's only one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No chats. What is it? So we vacuum packed it. That's what we did. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. Yet the guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying the guitar was with cocoons this small? It could very easy to use the guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin? The guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory. Air her forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this in fact. An igniter. Exactly. Consider this if you will. What if the igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean this, of course. Ah. There was a way to get cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do it with someone with access like a member of the band? 'Cause I can't take him seriously with that hairstyle of his. I seriously can't. Order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seemed. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, air forehead. At last, it all came together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Master, the gentle sound from... I can't even read it that fast. Like when I do it that fast. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock in my guitar case. The key was stolen and retrieved the cocoon from the guitar. Keeping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah, Mr. Latouche was an undercover agent. Was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was get rid of the whole lot. Guitar burst into flames and the cocoon was lost. And then Mr. Latouche died. With her there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Dresden? I gotta know you make all that up on the fly? A made-up story. It makes a great deal of sense, Darren. Heh, the Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Huh, let's see you make up a story for that kid. How'd I hide a cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not that hard to imagine. You had help, a Burgundian accomplice. That's true. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice she heard proves it. You made this transmission from backstage. While your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it that Coop did grace. And for once I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped them. Let's hear what Mr. Justice had to say then. But be warned, with a great occasion comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
Take that!
There was only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accusing a client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I'm here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he's innocent in that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Burgundian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact her? It can't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is the electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signal. Recall that this remote only works at a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, she was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seemed that she still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made the transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the stand-in were in the air. They were in the tower, which happened to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from her position in the air vent. That's true. Ah. Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honor? Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burned? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he had to wait out of this. So you want to see this one more time? Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First you were sleeved, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly are we supposed to be seeing in this video? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darren? Right, it was what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us, non-musician? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying that I ordered the lead pianist to set off that igniter? Is that right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? What seemed to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Ah. Yeah, that's how is he supposed to hit the switches he's playing. You got Miss Diva the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free with the diva. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed that switch. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing with the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. So I may have to pause, mute my mic for a minute so I could hear it again once it comes. How could it be all just strange? What's strange? No, it's just something odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice? If Machi Tobai didn't press the switch, then he cannot be the accomplice he claims he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's an accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire. But the pianist didn't press that switch. How you know for sure? In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tobai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Machi is not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It had to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What do you what? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Yeah, he's saying his whole thing is strange. Not much to go on, but that's all I got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something but the justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove that he would press the switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi... Yeah, we can prove it. I don't know if you told us proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it felt to me to ask you to show us the evidence supporting this. Air forehead, are you sure about this? Accept it. There's no evidence, man. Well, there is. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base on... Okay.
Take that!
Mixing board. The base for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Maybe I have to listen carefully. I hear piano being played, but it doesn't sound kind of simple. Simple? I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could have played the piano with the other. That's true. So So what, you're some kind of piano savant? Actually no. Okay, what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. You can if you practice enough. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy? Yeah, you got something? Meant to write your father, he's a penis. Could he... Oh, Dad? He can't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry. So sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with 1 hand or 2? You can't. I admit, it would rather be difficult to prove. But it's highly likely he was playing with 1 hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No. No way. Yeah, we can. Let's hear what Mr. Justice have to say for himself. Show us the part that proved the defendant was playing with 1 hand. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Machi was definitely playing 1-handed. Just before the guitar caught fire. And 1 section of the song proves it. Okay, let's see. I have to take a look at the thing here I'm looking at. Let's see. Yeah, I put on the right one. I had to double look. There we go. Pastor Gavin, I'm sure you realize by now just what is that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you realize it yourself by your forehead. Realize what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but fleeting melody phrase. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? It's like I'm getting sick of this shit. It's like I'm getting sick of this. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar burst into flame at the end of the 2nd verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the 1st verse. Pay attention to the "oh, that night in your embrace." Ah, play verse 2 again. How many times do I have to listen to this, man? Just like Gavin said. Not Gavin, but the other guy said. Did you hear that? They feel the same. True. But they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. Ah. What that prove? I think you know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darren. There's no point in changing the arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that piano would stay in the background. Oh. And that was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different? I asked myself. Now you ask yourself why Machi changed how he played, and then there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. And I still can't take this seriously with that man's hair. Seriously can't. Order. I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. So personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Very well. Bearing an objection for the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeve. No great show. It's not over? I don't like when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Air Forehead. Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts. Anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case does not cut it. But 1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it. It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if we did, we already would have seen it long way back. It's unfortunate. But at present, this court is unable to acknowledge the accusation. What? The truth is staring at us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Dad said? It won't be easy proving it. Yeah, it won't be easy. I wonder what he meant by every match at Nighter. I think he just meant weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark would turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means, but I gotta find a weak spot in the guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now, or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without the set of evidence. This witness won't be back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Did you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provide the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irritable damage. Your plan was an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Paulo. What, and is igniter supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better, I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through the very end. Air Forehead? You are accusing this man, Darren Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Tatus and the smuggling of Virginian Typhoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. The trial has already run on far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud, is the moment this cross-examination end. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Well, then, let's have it. Show out the basis for this execution against Darren Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Crescent's plan is... Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So, what is? It is true that I can't show evidence. But perhaps what I need to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I have just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove he's guilty? That he's guilty.
Take that!
The one person who could prove Darren Crescent's guilt is the defendant. Your client? Again? Machi Tobai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darren Crescent cannot have done the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle the cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Latus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Bourgogne, we could burn the cocoon. The burnt cocoon could leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt guitar. Ah, very scientific of you. Thus, if Machi Tobai acknowledges his agreement concerning the attempted smuggling of a Bulgarian cocoon, the case is solved. There is laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What is all of this about? Taking the cocoon out of the country means death, by Burgundian law. Ah, yeah, see? If our penis really is a smuggler, then testifying will be suicide. Believe me, he is not But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? That's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in a deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ah, the victim in his case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure the news has already reached Burgundy, and they likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Burgundian cocoon. Yeah, but if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Burgundian police. That's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing the trial? The same goes for Machi. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace, a hidden mansion. Real nice. You want a house made of cookies? Or no, a house made of pianos? Come on. Please. Don't. Ah! But you got him now. had him. Darren, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Oh no, he's laughing again. That's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Does sound like a confession to me. Well, have you been listening to the trial? Yes. And you'll talk? You'll tell everything? I didn't want to turn it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from beginning, I knew. Machi? Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. Only thing that can define it in entire law is evidence. This is the golden rule, however. It has become apparent that not all things can be tried by the stand. Said another case of the sort service, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobai? Yes? I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regard to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Tooth, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. Oh, I thank you. I only lie, but you see the truth. Fun truth. That's our job. Very well. He looked so happy there. The court found the defendant, Machi Tobai, not guilty. They now know that he would never harm anyone. Court is adjourned. Well, at least he doesn't have to worry about the murder charge. I wonder what happened to Machi. Well, he did smuggle Kakuna Burgania. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Dad! I owe you both my thanks. Is something wrong? I'm sorry. Machi was your partner on your stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something's got a hold of him, something evil, I see that. He must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I'm considering an eye-opening operation. I'm considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, she lost her sight due to some sort of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I fear that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I've been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returned to my eyes, I think I would take up painting. Painting? That's right, she's the landscape painter in sound after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. I can't wait. I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo Trucy? I hope that we'll meet again someday soon. You bet, me too. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. After the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit, particularly Gavin's, even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy, to have them catch the killer at the end. Alright, that's it for this one. That one's already all done and over with. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill it here for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button below and subscribe for more videos to come. See you guys later. Bye guys.